Good evening, and new at 5, a New Year's Day shooting leaves a home in Northeast Portland riddled with at least 20 bullet holes. The shots fired just a few hours after a family in the Cully neighborhood rang in 2023. Well, thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko. Fortunately, nobody was hurt, though, as Christelle Kumwe reports. Tonight, the homeowner has questions and also apparently evidence showing who might be responsible.
I'm appalled of who would even do something like this.
Ronisha Harris's home in the Cully neighborhood is riddled with bullets. She's beyond angry her home and family were targeted in this shooting on New Year's Day, she says, for no apparent reason.
No kid should be happen to be woken up on the first day of New Year's to a massive gun shooting inside of a house.
Harris is a traveling nurse and wasn't there at the time. The house has been under renovation since August. But that night, her adult daughter and 7-year-old grandson stopped by. Thankfully, they were in another room. No one was hurt. It was at 4 a.m. on January 1st.
It was just blazing. Just think if we were living here, if our house wasn't getting remodeled, we possibly could have been, somebody possibly could have been dead.
This is video from a neighbor's security camera that caught the whole thing on tape. The footage shows 2 people get out of a white vehicle.
Somebody knows that car and knows those people.
You can see them walk towards a home until they disappear. They're in the corner out of camera range. Then moments later, you hear what appears to be several gunshots. Bullets pierce through walls and windows of the home. This photo from Portland police with evidence markers shows officers found more than 20 casings on scene. Harris is not sure why the family was targeted.
I just don't know. But I know that the violence needs to stop.
She hopes the security footage leads to the arrest of the people responsible.
I refuse to let my grandson grow up in these type of circumstances. Enough is enough.
Christelle Kumwe reporting there. Meanwhile, police have made an arrest after a shooting last night on East Burnside and 122nd. The victim was rushed to the hospital with multiple gunshot wounds. Portland police say witnesses and surveillance video led them to 60-year-old Parrish Riggins Jr., who is now charged with attempted murder. Investigators say when they arrested him, they found a gun and drugs that included fentanyl pills. The victim is expected to survive. Developing tonight, Oregon State Police have shot and wounded someone in Albany. Troopers were assisting sheriff's deputies who they say were chasing a suspect in a car. This was just before noon near Southwest 9th and Lyon. Oregon State Police say the shooting happened when the pursuit stopped under the Pacific Boulevard underpass. It's unclear exactly what led up to those moments or how many shots were fired. The suspect was taken to the hospital. Albany police are now handling the investigation. We will update you when we learn more about the suspect and the circumstances. The owners of a funeral home in the Dalles are cleaning up tonight after an SUV crashed right into the building. A neighbor says he heard what appeared to be a vehicle speeding through an intersection on Kelly Avenue and then heard a loud crash. He ran over to find the driver trapped. He called 911. First responders pulled them out, but no word on their condition. The Spencer, Libby, and Powell funeral home has pretty significant damage. You see it there to the building. Let's get to a Call Kyle investigation into steep gas prices in one station in Woodburn that's charging nearly $7 a gallon for regular unleaded. For perspective, that is $3 a gallon more than the statewide average. Investigative reporter Kyle Iboshi joins us now. Kyle, good to see you, but this is not the first time you have looked into this particular station.
David, we decided to take another look at this. After getting several emails, drivers complained they had no idea how much they were paying for gas until it was too late. Several people said they were blindsided. The usual $50 fill-up ended up costing them more than $100.
Nobody likes high gas prices, but it's even worse when you're stuck paying more than you expect. And at the Arco AM/PM in Woodburn,
I think I just got screwed, royal.
Customers were shocked after we warned them.
Did you check your receipt?
I didn't until now, but
Check the receipt.
$6.69. Wow.
The Arco AM/PM in Woodburn is charging $6.69 a gallon for regular unleaded gas. That's $3 more than the Chevron across the street.
Oh, this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy.
Not only do consumers complain gas prices are outrageously high at the Arco AM/PM in Woodburn, but they're not posted out front. There's a big banner over the price sign.
So that's pretty deceptive. And I'm going to go in there and talk to her right now and ask what's going on.
Chris Lemieux had no idea how much he was paying for gas until it was too late. Employees said there was nothing they could do. His $90 fill-up was nearly double what Lemieux would normally pay.
That was our lunch. You know, we were, you know what I mean? So it's, yeah, pretty messed up.
Can you fill it with unleaded, please?
2 years ago, a KGW investigation looked into this exact same issue. Turned out in Oregon, gas stations are not required to post signs on the street for passing drivers. Instead, they just need to display prices on the pump, which the ARCO AM/PM does. Records show over the past 2 years, there have been 51 consumer complaints filed with the Oregon Department of Justice about the ARCO station in Woodburn. Of those complaints, most involved claims of charging an excessive price. The complaints were quickly resolved, records show, because in most cases, gas stations can charge whatever they want.
This is pretty messed up.
A lawyer representing the ARCO AM/PM in Woodburn explained the station is a franchisee of BP ARCO and is charged higher prices than neighboring stations. This makes it necessary to charge more. For consumers, best advice, confirm the price of gas before filling up. And if you're driving through Woodburn along I-5, be especially mindful if you pull into that ARCO station.
Well, maybe a local lawmaker will take it upon themselves to create some changes around transparency. Appreciate that, Kyle. New year, new rules. That includes for food trucks across Portland, because the county is now enforcing how owners and operators manage what goes down the sink. Let's bring in Joe Ranieri downtown. Joe, this has been in the works for a while. What kind of reaction were you getting today?
Well, a lot of the food cart owners I spoke with knew this was coming, but some of them tell me they're going to have to find a way to keep up with the cost to make sure they can stay open. Now, going forward, David, the new rules from the county are going to require food carts to have two options. One, to make sure their cart is connected to a sewer. The other option is to have it connected to one of these cubes you see out here. This is just one of the cubes along Southwest 3rd in downtown Portland. Now, these cubes are connected to the food carts by a pipe, and the water from washing dishes and food are stored in here. Well, it's also a safety hazard at times, too, because cars have been known to crash into them, forcing spills and causing health and safety risks. Now, I spoke to a couple of different owners of these food carts here in downtown who tell me it's not cheap to keep pumping all of the wastewater out of these cubes. Filibardo Saldana runs La Pinata Tacos along Southwest 3rd Avenue. He told me he has pumped at least 3 times a week at a cost of about $60 each time. That adds up to more than $700 a month. That's a big chunk of his profit a month that goes into complying with these new regulations. I spoke with some owners who tell me they have to cost them actually more than $1,000 a month.
That's what we have to do. I mean, it's just better to have someone to take it, or be able to be on business actually.
Wastewater that it's being generated from these mobile units are full of debris that can attract rodents. They can, when breaks do happen, they contaminate the stormwater drains which go into the Willamette.
Now, that was Jeff Martin, who you just heard with the Multnomah County Environmental Health Department. We spoke with him last fall about this, and it was also 4 years ago when the Oregon Health Authority implemented these new rules. Now, if these cubes are not emptied out on a regular basis, the county has the right to fine them or shut them down completely. As for how often they need to be pumped out, the county hasn't got back to me on how often they're hoping to do that. Reporting live in downtown Portland, Joe Ranieri, KGW News.
The cost of doing business. Thank you, Joe. And speaking of dollar signs, Oregon's new paid leave program also went into effect with the new year. That means the state is going to be taking more money out of your paycheck. The funds are going to go toward ensuring eligible workers get up to 12 weeks of paid leave a year. The time can be taken for things like the birth or adoption of a child, serious injury or illness, or taking care of a seriously ill family member. It's also going to be available for survivors of domestic violence, sexual assault, stalking, or harassment.
Really takes, again, that burden off of folks' shoulders to know that they're going to, it's not going to be leave that they're going to have to take unpaid, or they could potentially lose their job.
Well, the program is funded by a trust. All workers in Oregon will have 0.6% of their gross wages withheld for the fund every paycheck, and then businesses with more than 25 employees will also have to contribute another 0.4%. Now, while the funds will start coming out right away, the paid leave benefits won't actually start being paid out until September. Authorities are saying there is no sign of foul play after they found the body of a missing Oregon State student. Steve Mainwaring from Klamath Falls had been missing for more than 2 weeks. His family said the last time they talked to him, He mentioned he might go camping or fishing, though they had expected him home for Christmas. Now, on Sunday, sheriff's deputies found his car and his body next to it in a remote area of Mary's Peak in Benton County. Mainwaring was an airman in the Oregon Air National Guard and an engineering student at OSU.